US flags are all around. She says it's easier to keep her head down. She looks at you strange when you say this hope. That's how rebellions work, don't you know? Rebel girl, rebel girl, rebel girl, they know you. It's gonna be your time for breaking through, for breaking through, for breaking through, through. She's waiting for someone to stand by her side. We all have a world where we want to hide. In the desert sun that you
That, of course, was F105 and Rebel Girl. Hello, everyone. I'm James Razile, and joining me from across the pond is Brock Smink. Brock, how you doing?
Can I unmute my mic now?
Yeah, you can unmute your microphone.
I'm here on the planet Kashyyyk, putting my condolences to a fallen soldier. It's quiet here on the moons in orbit of Kashyyyk. James, we've truly lost a part of the Star Wars family.
Absolutely. It's yeah, yesterday I got home from work and I received a text message. I think you got the same message as me from Andrew Fantasia.
Yeah, I was like, stop texting me! But it was terrible news. Well, maybe not terrible. It's news that's rocked the Star Wars community. Peter Mayhew has passed away at, was he 74, 72? I'm glad I'm very prepared for this.
I believe he was 74 years old.
Okay, I had it right the first time. Thank goodness. I just gotta stop questioning myself. Yeah, he was very ill for the last few years, but so it's a shame to see him go. But his legacy lives on in Star Wars, because film is forever, and you can always watch. If you miss Chewbacca, you just turn it on and hear that fun walrus lion noise.
Yeah. Was Andrew's text to you the very first notification you got about his passing yesterday? Or did you know before Andrew texted you?
Yeah, no, I didn't know before Andrew texted me.
Yeah, me neither. It's not the text message you want to get from anybody for sure. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It was kind of surprising as well because I don't know if you know this, Brock, but he was scheduled to be at a Dallas Fan Expo this weekend.
I did not know that. He did attend Celebration in Chicago, I believe. Yes, he did, because Funko had a picture of him with one of the Chewbacca exclusives, the blue one, I believe, the blue chrome. So I'm sure a lot of the people that went to see him there are feeling pretty good that they at least got to see him one more time. He was a common appearance at a lot of Comic-Cons, even small ones. I think he really got the Star Wars fandom. Would you think he's probably one of the first actors that people learn his name, outside of the main cast? You know what I mean? Because it's sort of like the costume for Chewbacca is so good that you kind of forget there's a person inside, right?
Yeah, definitely. This is what you're saying is a great point because you might be right because there's Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill, but they're Luke and Han, and Chewie is this completely separate thing. And I said on today's 1313 for the Patreons today, I said, it's weird because when Carrie Fisher passed away and when Peter Mayhew passed away, it's similar in a lot of respects. It's like, it's, because we always say Chewbacca can go on forever in the movies. It doesn't matter who's playing Chewbacca. But I think, and as accurate as that is, it's almost like he is gone. Like Chewbacca's kind of, the Chewbacca that we grew up with has moved on now, for real. So yeah, I think what you're saying about Peter Mayhew's name is, yeah, he's probably the first name before even Anthony Daniels or Kenny Baker. It was probably Peter Mayhew.
Yeah, because you'll see a lot of like black and white photos from around the time of New Hope, for like press release stuff or just, I don't know, premieres. One of the popular ones is where it's like Carrie Fisher, I think Kenny Baker, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew, and oh god, who played Vader? Who's in the suit?
Sebastian Shaw played him, right? But it was, I can't remember his name, and I think I follow him on Twitter. This is the worst part. David
Prowse?
Something like that. I think we're on the right track.
Sorry, fans. Sorry, scumbags. That's something again.
We're fake fans.
I'm jet lagged for coming to Kashyyyk, so I
actually
can't remember. But anyway, it's a picture of that cast.
No, but we should actually bring this up though. Is like this. So you really wanted to do this podcast, this video right now because of your. I think you're working right now. You're in your car.
Yeah, on Kashyyyk. I drove my Grand Caravan all the way to Kashyyyk. Yeah, Chewbacca's my favorite. I don't know if you ever look in the background of our set. There is a full shelf of Chewbacca. Both my lovely girlfriend and my lovely podcasting partner have both given me exclusive Chewbacca pops that sit prominently on this shelf, and I just love everything about Chewbacca. He's always so much fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the picture thing I was talking about is like, you see a little bit of that like when Star Wars coming out, because usually it's like, look how short Kenny Baker is and look how tall Peter Mayhew is. It's that picture I was talking about. It's like, but after that you kind of see less and less, and then I think as the Star Wars fandom grew, he became prominent. I just learned. Did you know this? There is a Chewbacca Museum. I'm not quite sure where, but
no way.
I need to figure it out. I searched it, and their website was kind of whatever, but I learned this because I follow the artist Venomous on Instagram, who apparently was messaged by Peter Mayhew at one point for a poster of Chewbacca for the Chewbacca Museum. Now I don't know how big of a place, but I am on a search to find where this is, because that's got to be a gem of a place to go to. But yeah, it's rough to see him go. But if you know Peter Mayhew's history, like, he's a tall guy, and like his knees were slowly going out on him over the years. If you've seen him in the last 5 to 10 years, you probably saw him with cane, usually in the shape of a lightsaber, which is like, I mean, Harrison Ford even tweeted out his thoughts on Peter Mayhew, or I think yesterday or the day before, talking about how they've been friends for 30 years and how he will be missed and how truly amazing person he was. But he made a point to say it's like he knew that the fans were important, that Chewbacca meant something to people, even though like Chewbacca doesn't have a like amazing monologue in Return of the Jedi, though that would be amazing. That like people loved this universe, and Peter Mayhew made sure that fans knew that the cast was aware of it. So he will be sorely missed.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it as well. Is when I think back on Peter Mayhew, and when I look back at Star Wars Celebration Chicago, and obviously he was not part of any of the panels there, but you see new Chewie, Jonas, I can't pronounce his name, and he knows I can't pronounce his name as well. He said he made the joke that nobody could pronounce his name when he was on the stage. You look at that, and he was, Jonas, the new Chewie, was so enthusiastic about being there. He loved being there, right? And you got to think back to Peter Mayhew was the same way. Like you said, he went to all of these conventions. He showed up. He went to Chicago, and people got mad because I think the Thursday or Friday, or maybe both of those days, he actually canceled his meet and greets and signings because of health reasons, and people actually got mad at him about that. And he was supposed to be at Dallas Fan Expo this weekend. Dallas now, for anyone that has seen it, they have a nice display where he would be, and it has his name, and there are flowers all around. And actually, somebody posted a video on Facebook of an R2 droid going up to it and kind of paying its respects to the Peter Mayhew. I guess it's like a shrine right now. It's a memorial for him. They say they are going to do a memorial for him there. But he loved the fan base is what I'm getting at. Is he absolutely cared about Star Wars. And I think, to your point earlier, that we knew his name first, I think he understood first, maybe second Anthony Daniels, but he knew at some point early on how special it was and how much he meant to those fans as this character Chewbacca, even though they never saw his face.
Yeah. That's one thing about Star Wars. It's like you have this main cast that drives the plot, but all these supporting characters, the 3PO, the R2-D2, the Jabba the Hutt, that, maybe they're not a human actor, it's maybe they're puppets, maybe they're robots, maybe they're people in suits, but like, it's people like that, that make Star Wars fun. Otherwise, it's just like, we're on an adventure, hooray. And I think he's one of the first people that sort of is like, I love this franchise. Like, he didn't have to come back, but he did. He came back for Force Awakens, and then he what's the word? He took on an apprentice in Junis Sutanamo, and I think he did a great job because, say what you want about Solo, the Chewbacca and that is amazing. The Han and Chewbacca chemistry is still there. So, watching that movie, it's just these characters could live on forever. You just have to deal with the fact that new people are in there. So, but the fact that he was trained by the OG Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew, is that's so cool. So,
yeah, and Peter Mayhew was at the premiere of Solo, a Star Wars story. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the video of Sam Witwer with New Chewie. I'm gonna call him New Chewie because I can't pronounce his name. If he could teach me how to pronounce his name, we'll do that. But for now, he's New Chewie. and Sam Witwer does his Darth Maul, and he's like, "I'd like to introduce you to my new apprentice," and it just goes to Jonas, and he goes, and he does a perfect Chewie.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's right. But he totally embraces this character, and like you said, he was taken under Peter Mayhew's wing. And you know what? Peter Mayhew could only do the stuff of Chewie where he was sitting down in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And how many times did you hear him complain? How many times was it reported that he was miserable on set, that they weren't letting him be Chewie, or that they were, slowly shoving him out the door as Chewie? Never. Never. Exactly. He knew his physical condition. But because of the love and appreciation he had for the fan base and for the character especially, he knew it was for the better good to go on like this. And that's why Chewie, could be in many more movies to come with someone who was the Padawan of Peter Mayhew.
Yeah. Ugh. Chewbacca, just the greatest. This is my top 5 heroes last week or coming up, or I don't know where we are, but I always will push Chewbacca. So
yeah, we do top 5 heroes on tomorrow's episode 124 of Rebel Scum. It'll be up at 7 p.m. And yeah, we do top 5 heroes, and Chewie did not make the top 5. Not that he wasn't close, but I think the problem with Chewie on a list like that is everyone loves Chewie is what I always remember when I used to say Solo #3rd best Star Wars film. That's Chewie. #3rd favorite Star Wars character. He's like, everyone loves Chewie, but he's not the one you go to when you think of your lover, because it's Luke, Leia, Han. You know what I mean? It's like those 3. I mean, you're different, Brock. I know you're different, but the majority of people, they gravitate to Luke, Vader, stuff like that. And Chewie's been there, and Chewie was so popular that George Lucas was like, nah, we need to go to Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith, and Chewie has to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic. And it's like, I always forget he's in that movie sometimes, even though I have the action figure of him, Purples, and just the regular Wookiee soldier, the helmet that always falls off. It's on that shelf. But yeah, I mean, just like George Lucas, huge fan of the Wookiee character. Maybe we all know Jar Jar is his favorite character, but Chewie's up there, and his love for Wookiees. It was almost Wookiees in Return of the Jedi instead of Ewoks, and you gotta love it if you're a Star Wars fan. The holiday special where we learn all about Chewbacca's family and Life Day. It's amazing. Like, I think I said at one point, I was like, Han Solo, he's so much fun because he gets a fast car and he's got a cool dog.
Yeah, that's Han in a nutshell, right? Like, he's a cool guy with a car and everyone's best friend. And I will say it was, because Andrew sent that text message and I was like, oh, that's heartbreaking. And then I went online and the social media was a buzz with Peter Mayhew. And it wasn't just, my friend on Twitter. It was famous people that I was like, why would they even acknowledge that? And people were. And they, I think anybody who has ever had to attend any kind of convention probably, I would imagine, ran into Peter Mayhew, and it seemed like he was one hell of a guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just hit like him and like Anthony Daniels and Warwick Davis. Like those are the guys that like they'll just show up and just maybe you'll hear the same story over and over again, but they're always mesmerizing because you can tell they love what they do. So nothing against Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill does an entertaining time, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of pressure being like the main character in a lot of movies, so it's like. Do you think, I was thinking about this today, do you think the only person happy about being in Denmark for Empire Strikes Back was Peter Mayhew because he was basically wearing carpet the entire time?
Oh, that's a story.
Or do you think it was just as uncomfortable as he always is?
That's a story I wish we could hear. Probably 50-50. He was probably the warmest, but he was...
What would happen if that was our last moment? Oh my God, what would happen if that was our last moment? Flags are all around. She says it's easier